In this video, we're going to talk about lies, deceit, deception, and how Minimal Audio potentially ruined their reputation for all eternity. This company, Minimal Audio, gave a copy, I'm assuming they gave a free copy to a bunch of YouTubers. They do a video on it, some more ethical than others, and then the bomb drops that this is actually only available basically through subscription.
There were a lot of things that went wrong with the release of Current. Definitely poor communication from us to our creator community. Definitely poor communication to our customers. And honestly, just a poor decision on pricing with regards to what our intention with Current is.
So there's quite a few things that I think went wrong within this whole chain. And also we'll get into their apology later. Number one, I think if you're a YouTuber and you're marketing something, I think it should be a good lesson for everybody who did videos on this to really ask, how much is this going to cost? What is the model going to be like?
But as of now, I think that I'm really just bummed out about figuring out right at the end at launch that it's subscription only. So Minimal Audio, I think that you all have a great product, but I can't get behind this. I can't get behind the subscription model. It just, and again, I mean no disrespect. I mean this in the most professional and humble way, but I don't think that this is a good move.
So there's two potential scenarios here. Minimal Audio was like, didn't even think twice about a subscription model being a problem. They could have, from a business standpoint, said, we think the value proposition of this product that we're making is good enough to be a subscription service because we have a lot of plugins and stuff we have a lot of sound banks and all that kind of stuff for it. And because of that, that constantly reoccurring subscription will make it worth it. So that could be a steelman argument as to why they're, wanting to do this. They just legitimately thought that this was a good value proposition and that people would want to pay for this. It could have been from people that they talked to. They could have spoken with the YouTubers about it. But I'm under the impression that the YouTubers didn't know. But the thing is, it doesn't kind of absolve them or me if I would have covered that of blame, because if you're going to cover a product, you should know right off the bat, what is this going to retail at? From what I understand, none of these videos discuss that whatsoever. And I think if somebody's sending you something and you don't have all that information up front, it should already be sort of like a sussy-bussy moment of like, I don't know about that. Well, more sus, because sussy-bussy can be great. But if we're talking about this, it being sus is probably not something you want to do. So from the YouTuber's point, I think that's kind of a big shortcoming. And I think for a good chunk of them, it was just honestly, they didn't think about it. We all make mistakes. I don't think anyone should be like going to these YouTubers and sort of like lambasting them, especially if it's somebody that overall has been very reputable and like very good about what they're doing. The other take is that they sent it to the YouTubers, intentionally sort of obfuscated or not really mentioned or sort of directed away any sort of information about the pricing and sort of structure of how you're going to interact with this on a financial sort of level, so that they would go ahead and sort of obfuscate what this actually costs, not really bring any attention to it, and then hope that by having the YouTubers market it, well enough, because we know people be marketing out there. And even then, if that's the case, it's still a problem on the people who are doing YouTube for not doing their due diligence about making sure that they have all their I's crossed and their T's dotted to make sure everything's okay. But I gotta admit, I kind of got a good laugh from seeing the titles of everybody before of like, wow, this synth is so amazing, and then afterwards them kind of doing a course correct. It's good. I love a little bit of drama, I'm not going to lie. One thing I do respect is that Minimal Audio came out and the man himself actually put himself on camera in front of it and apologized for his decision. I have to give him credit, doing the sort of model that he did is kind of beta male behavior, but I have to say, I wouldn't say it's a complete Chad transformation, but he's kind of in that Sigma role, where it's like, if he's around, he's kind of nonchalant, he's got his stuff together, he could probably have a woman on his side and others might look at him and be like, wow, what a Sigma. So he's kind of within that area. I think, in all seriousness, I think it's really good that, he put himself out there like this. A lot of people would just write a statement and kind of set it to the side. So mad respect here. And let's see what he has to say really quick.
There were a lot of things that went wrong with the release of Current. Definitely poor communication from us to our creator community. Definitely poor communication to our customers, and honestly, just a poor decision on pricing with regards to what our intention with Current is. So our goal with Current is really to build this constantly evolving, vastly improving synthesis ecosystem over time. And we wanted to make sure everybody experienced what our vision for that product is.
So I think that take is totally reasonable if you're wanting to build a suite of products that you're continually adding to. I could see doing a subscription model for that. I think it's totally reasonable. But one of the worst things you could do is sort of give your thing to a bunch of YouTubers and sort of hope that they market your product in the way that you want it to. The best way is really for you as, the creator right here, Jake, to really convey it yourselves as a company. Or if you're going to send it to somebody, really tell them, like, this is going to be something I want you to focus on. We'll give you a copy of this. You can be as critical as you want about everything else, but we just ask that you say, this is going to be a long-term thing that we're adding stuff to over time, and that we have a plan of building out into the future. The other thing, though, is if they don't have a history of doing this, it's going to be really tough. So you might have to operate at some sort of loss for a while before you can recoup those gains. So it's kind of a tough decision there. I don't think he's unreasonable in sort of his perspective on wanting to do this.
But obviously after everybody's feedback, we realized that it doesn't make sense when if you want to leave the system, you lose access to all that stuff after being on it for such a long period of time.
I mean, it does make sense, right? It's just the sunken cost fallacy of once you're invested in something, you don't want to get away from it, right? If that's like with me and the couple of subscriptions that I have, like, you just can't. I feel like it's like with an OnlyFans subscription, right? Like, after you've busted so many times, you're so down deep into that Coomer rabbit hole, you're never going to get back out. So from a business perspective, it's a great strategy. You're going to get that reoccurrent revenue, and people are going to stay stuck within your ecosystem. So after watching this, I would say my guess is probably that Minimal Audio wasn't expecting for this sort of reaction. I could just tell just look at his expression. He looks done with this. He looks done with life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.